Hi, this is Professor Clemens. Welcome to Chapter 6, Early Motor Development. Let's talk about early motor behavior. There are spontaneous movements. If not eating or sleeping, newborns most likely will squirm, thrust their legs or arms, stretch their fingers and toes, or make other spontaneous movements. These spontaneous movements seem very different from walking or reaching, and pediatricians, parents, and others have believed that they had no particular purpose or relationship to the future movements the child would someday choose to make. However, this is not the case. Let's take spontaneous kicking, for example, of the legs. The supine kicking is not random but rhythmical, and the kicks have a coordinated pattern. What is remarkable is that the coordination of these kicks resemble the positioning and timing of an adult walking step. The pattern of muscle used in infant supine kicking is very coordinated. Then you have reflexive. These are stereotypical responses elicited by specific external stimuli. Generally, newborns exhibit strong reflexes at birth. Reflexes are responses to specific external stimuli. The movements are specific and often localized, and the same stimuli will elicit a specific reflex over and over again. These spontaneous movements, the original theory was that they had no purpose, but the current theory understands that these movements are building blocks, similar to some voluntary movements. Examples we talked about was the spontaneous kicking, and also the spontaneous arm movements resemble reaching. Reflexes and the reflective movements occur quickly after the onset of stimuli. They involve single muscle or specific groups of muscles, not the whole body. They cannot be extinguished at one time, and persistence may indicate neurological problems. The purposes of the reflexes: they're built-in responses that facilitate survival. Reflexes allow dialogue with environment. Reflexive movements result in sensory consequences such as adaptation, and reflexes provide building blocks for future movement. Asymmetrical tonic neck reflex. The infant starts in supine position. The stimulus, they turn head to one side, and the response is the same side leg and arms extend. Palmar grasp reflex suggests the stimulus that touched the palm with a finger or object. The response is the hand closes tightly around the finger or object. The STNR suggests the infant starts in supported sitting position. The stimuli is you extend the head and neck or flex head and neck. The response is the arms extend and legs flex, or arms flex and legs extend. Infant starts in supine position. The stimuli is the shaking the head by tapping pillow. Response: arms, legs, and fingers extend, then arms and legs flex. That's called the Moro reflex. Stepping reflex. The stimulus: place soles of feet on flat surface. Response: legs move in a walking pattern. Go through the reflex listed in Table 6.1 in the text. What voluntary behaviors might they be linked to? And why do you think so? Constraints. What constraints exist during the reflexive period? Structural, functional, environmental physical, environmental sociocultural, and tasks such as goals, rules, and equipment. Later emphasis voluntary control of movements, the understanding of environment, objects in environment, meaningful interactions with others, and postural reactions. In Table 6.3, it shows another reflex, the labyrinthine riding reflex. The emphasis is supported upright. The stimulus: tilt infant. Response: head moves to stay upright. Here's some more postural reactions. Durative writing. Infant starts in supine position. Stimulus turns head to one side or turn legs and pelvis to the other side. The response, the body follows head in rotation, or trunk and head follow in rotation. Parachute. Infant is held upright. The stimulus is lower infant towards the ground rapidly. Response, legs and arms extend. Milestones. Fundamental motor skills. Building blocks leading to more complex motor skills, and they are cumulative and sequential, which means they happen in order. Specific movements that lead to general actions. Locomotive and posture motor milestones. 2 months. Lifts head in prone position. Lifts shoulders, turns head. Let's watch this. Locomotive and posture motor milestones continued. Here, 5 months, rolls over, sits unsupported. Seven months, gets on knees or hands. 8 months, creeps on hands and knees. Let's watch this video. Nine months, pulls to stand and cruises furniture. Ten months, stands alone, and at 12 months, walks alone. Okay, is that not the cutest baby ever? Oh my goodness, so cute. Then we have what we call rate limiters or controllers. In an individual, constraints that inhibit or slow attainment of a motor skill. These rapidly are changing during early childhood. What important rate limiters during infancy may control the development of the following? Think about crawling, reaching, or walking. Talk about crawling. In order to crawl, an infant must be first able to lift her head and shoulders in a prone position, which requires neck and shoulder strength. In something like Down syndrome, there's a lack of muscle tone. In fact, infants with Down syndrome have been characterized as floppy. So this can often delay motor development. Rate limiters for posture and balance appear to involve coupling of sensory information and motor responses. Infants continuously calibrate sensory motor response. Summary and synthesis. The appearance and disappearance of infant reflexes are part of typical development. Reflexes often appear in a relatively predictable sequence and time frame during typical development. And it is important to always keep in mind the presence of individual variability in all aspects of development.